I sometimes worry that the children in church are a little bit too well behaved. I mean, mostly I worry that children aren't in church at all, but when they are there, I worry that their anger, their natural sense of the way things are isn't fair, has not been nurtured. At the toddler end, you get all kinds of little people, but by 8 or 9, many types of participants are missing. The very active, extrovert, or noisy children are often elsewhere. Anger is hushed or blunted, and a sense of injustice is redirected into reflection or reinterpretation or perspective or prayer. Look, over there, a group of children sits colouring around a table. They have internalized the virtues that the church has praised in them: calm, order, obedience, creativity within careful boundaries, using their intelligence to reach the right answer, staying put, staying quiet, not being too distinctive. Shh. Whereas John starts his account of the ministry of Jesus by showing two things about him. First, Jesus is extravagantly generous. This is a God who turns up at a wedding reception and says, "You haven't got enough alcohol, let me help." And second, Jesus is angry, astonishingly, publicly angry. We're not even 100% sure why Jesus is angry. Some commentators assume there was particular corruption among the merchants. Others say that what angered Jesus was the very fact of space intended to be a place of prayer being given over to commerce and religious tat. And I suspect it was a bit of both. But what do you do with anger? If you suppress it and deny it, you'll either become smug and apathetic or resentful and bitter. And then, either way, at some point, it will probably erupt destructively. And if, on the other hand, you feed it like a cherished pet and give your anger free rein, it will grow within you, which may make you feel good for a while, but it will be more and more difficult to control. Jesus avoids both these extremes. He neither denies his anger nor allows it to lead him into violence. Jesus is like the burning bush, on fire, yet never destructive. As Saul Alinsky put it, we don't need hot, destructive anger, but, quote, reflective anger, purified by building character within oneself. Cold anger, which leads people to build warm relationships and to muster the courage and persistence to create a better world. End of quote. We need more of this kind of anger: good anger, safe anger, level-headed anger, good-humored anger, even humble anger. In Paul's words, be angry, but do not sin, and do not let the sun go down on your anger. When the disciples saw the anger of Jesus, their minds turned to Psalm 69. I am a foreigner to my own family, says the psalmist, a stranger to my own mother's children, for zeal for your house consumes me. Caring so much about the Father's house and the Father's cause that we're willing to be treated as strange by those closest to us. And to be honest, a passion for justice and a passion for the clearing away of religious distractions, that sort of passion may lead to people finding us weird. And if that happens, it's all the more important that we resemble both sides of Jesus. Jesus, the perfect, gracious, generous, low ego wedding guest of Cana, who happily lets the bridegroom take the credit for the miracle, as well as Jesus, who burns for righteousness. As I say, I sometimes worry about children. But here's an encouraging story. It's about a church school that I know well. Essex County Council were planning to close the local library. So we arranged for all the children, with appropriate permissions, to walk down to the library and stand round it in a photogenic ring, singing the songs that they'd learned in assembly. Regional TV news came to cover it. The children learned that they could act for justice and that doing so was connected to following Jesus. The next morning, Essex County Council announced a change of policy on libraries, and Gallywood Library is, as a matter of fact, still open to this day. One more thing before I finish. We've seen that Jesus' anger was probably partly at corruption and partly at a place of prayer being given over to commerce and religious tat. But there was another reason for it as well. When you have in Jerusalem a building that claims to be the place where God meets earth, and a person who claims that God and earth meet in him, well, the city isn't going to be big enough for the two of them. Jesus' claim here is that he is the true temple. He will be demolished. And in one sense, he will be demolished, killed, because he will be rejected by the same religious authorities as he confronted in John chapter 2. But we're looking at this with the eyes of faith. And we can also see that he was taking on himself the corruption and evil and rivalry. He was taking all that to hell for us. 3 days later, he will rise again. In his risen body, he will replace the temple. And then he will make us his people, whom he died and rose for. He'll make us the new temple in him. The way that Jesus felt about the Jerusalem temple, zeal was consuming him, is the way that he feels about us, his family, his body, his beloved, his temple. So he will put his finger on whatever gets in the way of us being a proper temple. Of course he will. Zeal for God's house consumes him. He will be uncompromising about abuse and hypocrisy and corruption in the church. Of course he will. Zeal for God's house consumes him. But he will also inspire his people to burn with holy anger against injustice wherever it is found. This is the Jesus we worship, the gracious, gentle Jesus who makes a whip out of love and drives out all that stems from abuse and injustice. Please, let's teach our children to worship and follow this Jesus too. It will energize some of them a lot more than being shh'd.